As an inspector, we are always looking for things that could be wrong with the property. We're trained to look for cracks, for mistakes. Too many times we bear the burden of delivering bad news. But some inspectors have discovered a way to use their skills and talents to instead create a vision of what could be, to look for the good, to create opportunity, and become the hero. The 203K in a Box program is the #1 system for new and veteran 203K consultants. It's the place you can feel confident, knowing you have a team of experts backing you up. That I'm here to hold your hand. You are not alone in this anymore. We are rebuilding neighborhoods and giving communities new life, one home at a time. You deserve to be recognized as the hero.
Hello, and welcome to FAQ on 203K, the many ways to be profitable as a 203K consultant. I am your host this evening, Catherine Hall, and I want to thank you so much for joining us today on this very important webinar. It was very, very exciting to meet many of you at the recent Home Inspection Training Conference. And I just want to let you know that I'm so glad that you took my invitation to join us today for this webinar. So sit back and watch as I help you understand the most important thing, and that is the channel that we all listen to. You know that channel, WIIFM, What's in it for me? And I'm going to show you today why you should be considering becoming an FHA 203K consultant, because of all the advantages it will give you, your community, and your business. So first of all, I do want to acknowledge you for joining us today. It's very important for me to let you know that 80% of success is just showing up. And a lot of people were invited to this webinar who aren't here on the call today. So I just want to thank you all so much. And if you would just take a few minutes and just in the actual chat box of the webinar, just type in where you're from, what is your location, what is your specialty, anything that you'd like to just shout out to all the rest of the people on the webinar today. I really would appreciate that. Thank you so much. And so, you know, like I said, the WIIFM channel is on, and I am playing the tunes for you. And so what's the biggest tune I want you to hear today is how you can benefit. So I'm going to show you how you can leverage your existing skills, using the specialized knowledge that you already have, and capitalize on it to increase the money that you're making, lower the amount of time and effort you have to spend in the field and on projects, and in marketing especially, and help create a business strategy for growth or downsizing that will help provide you with the customized future that you're looking for, all while improving your neighborhoods and your cities and communities by renovating the homes that are living there one house at a time. So now, when we met at the recent event, I asked many of you to ask this question to a loan officer or mortgage broker that you knew. And that question was, if I were a 203K consultant, would there be work we could be doing together? Did you ask that question? What was the answer? So again, this is going to be a very interactive conversation today, so please don't hesitate to type in the chat box. Anytime I ask a question, I am looking for your feedback. And yes, I can do more than one thing at a time. So, did you ask? Did you find out, like many of you who asked during the recent conference that we attended, that lenders were literally champing at the bit, excited that you could be able to provide them resource and support for renovation loan consulting work? If not, it's not too late. And it's still a chance for you to contact the loan officer tomorrow or the next day while you are looking into this as an opportunity for your business. But before we deep dive into renovation consulting and its opportunities for you and your community, I believe that you don't hear a person's words until you know who that person is. So if I might have a minute, can I tell you a little bit about who I am and what my journey has been as a renovation consultant? Thank you. Thank you very much. So first of all, this does not look like the picture of a home inspector or building consultant. And in fact, when I first grew up, I thought I was going to go into the performing arts. For those of you who know me, yes, you know I'm a ham. So yes, being in the performing arts was something that was very interesting, and I was actually trying to become an actress, a singer. But instead, like many of you, I found my way in home inspection. As you know, many people here did not start their business careers as home inspections. So raise your hand or type in me or yes in the chat box to answer this question. How many here are using home inspection skills now that they developed in another industry? Well, I'm one of them, all right? I started out as an electrical engineer, not as a home inspector. But then I moved into the home inspection industry in the early 1990s and created Value Home Inspections, later to become Value Home Services. And with that need to be able to generate income, I actually partnered with a real estate lender and created the Keystone Real Estate Academy. And in this Real Estate Academy, we actually provided CEU education trainings to the real estate agents in our market. One of the things that I used as a USP in my business, and for those of you who are not familiar with that term, it means unique selling proposition. So one of our USPs was that all of our home inspectors in our company are FHA consultants. And the way I was able to train the consultants who I hired, because I was a multi-inspector firm, was by creating a system. It was literally all the stuff about 203K, I put it in a big Tupperware box, a bin. And so a very dear friend and mentor of mine, Mike Crow, suggested that if you're able to repeat this success with your individual inspectors in your own business, maybe you could help others out in the industry, out in our world, create the same success. And with that was born the 203K in a Box FHA Consultant Training and Marketing System. And as I mentioned, I became an expert at providing do-it-yourself trainings for new inspectors. And so when I did this, this was actually over 10 years ago. Once we had more and more and more FHA consultants trained, we started to find that there were many of us out here doing the same thing, the same way, with the same type of integrity and quality and customer service. So what was our next step? Well, it led to the creation of the National Association of FHA Consultants, of which I'm very honored to be the executive director. This association is dedicated to the premise of creating competency, consistency, and community to all the partners in the world of renovation consulting. Well, what's one of the best ways to create consistency in any type of business or competency? That is to standardize how everyone does everything. So to create a type of easy to use standardized system that makes it easy for everybody to do 203K report writing, we created the Genesis Rehab Project Creator. This is the actual jewel in my 203K Queen's crown, because this actually is a 100% web-based rehab report writer that takes everything that you need as a renovation consultant, puts it together in a simple to follow task-driven system that I'll talk to you a little bit more about later. But I just wanted to give you an understanding of where I have come from in my journey and why many people feel I'm the person you should listen to when it comes to learning how to be a successful FHA consultant. So I hope this helps you understand who I am and why I'm so honored to be able to talk to you today. So now let's talk about you as a home inspector. What is a home inspection really? Many of you think of that home inspection as an information tool to provide a borrower with a way to understand what they're looking to do when they move into a property. That's great. But in reality, isn't a home inspection a roadblock, a stumbling block to getting to settlement? How many of you have had a situation where a person has said to you, please don't find anything wrong in the house, I really want to buy this home? Remember, does that sound familiar? Raise your hand or type in me, yes, because this is exactly what it is. And when your reports are really a description of a house that's tore up from the floor up, what do? Many times people can't get past our home inspection report due to foreclosures or short sales or just homes that are in just poor condition. What if you had a way that you could help people understand that there is a way that you can have their cake and eat it too? In other words, buy a home that needs to be repaired, but get it fixed up without having money come out of their pocket. That's what renovation lending is all about. Let's talk a little bit more about what you do as a home inspector. Let's talk about the value of your time, the monetary value of time. So let's look at this. On the average, home inspection fee is around $350, $400 typically. And for that $350 average inspection, you're spending about 11 hours worth of work. So that averages out to be about $31.50 an hour. Not too bad, but that doesn't include some of the overhead costs like insurance, etc. But that's still not bad. What if you could be able to get wages and get an income that was closer to $100 per hour without doing anything different from what you're doing now? Actually, you will be doing something different. You'll be doing less work. So how do you get that? With FHA 203K Consulting. So now, once again, I'm tuning into that What's in it for me channel. So the first question that I'm sure is on many of your minds is, why should you do it? Well, one of the most important reasons to do it is the income potential, the money part. Show me the money. These are the fees that HUD established effective as of September 14, 2015. And as you can see, the fees that you receive at the time of service by the borrower are paid based upon the repair amount of the project. So many times when we do a home inspection, we walk up to a house and we look at it and our shoulders slump when we look at the property and we say to ourselves, oh man, this is going to take forever. All that's wrong in this property, yuck. Well, here's the situation. When you do a renovation project, the more work involved, the more money you make. Now, let's break this down. Let's take a simple project. A project that only is going to cost $35,000 to repair. So once again, these are fees that are paid by the borrower to you at the time of service. So if you have your home inspection fee, because FHA requires a client to sign a disclosure saying, for your protection, get a home inspection. And if you want a home inspection, this consultant can provide it. So all the fees that we're talking about that you're going to be receiving are paid to you on top of your home inspection fee. So you have your feasibility review fee, and I show you how to get that. You don't get a check for $100. You don't. Typically, what you do is your initial payment from a client is usually $400 or $500. Never do you walk away with just $100. Then the total work write-up fee on a $35,000 project is $750. For a total fee paid to you before closing, out of the closing cost money that your borrower, out of the down payment and closing cost money that your borrower has saved up, is $1,250. That doesn't include the mold, radon, termite, septic, or other important tests that may be necessary, in most cases are necessary, to determine what the repairs are going to need to be. So if you see a whole lot of mold in a property, you may need to find out how much mold is there, how bad is it, what type of mold is it, so that you can help the borrower determine what the cost is to correct and mitigate this, remediate the mold problem. So now you've heard me say the word borrower over and over again, and here you see it on the screen. That's because unlike a home inspection, typically, well, in many home inspections, our services are performed when the borrower, for people who are not just buying a home, but for people who are also refinancing an existing mortgage and are therefore not going to be needing a home. They are basically existing homeowners, so they're not buying the home. They're just refinancing their existing mortgage. So that's why we use the term borrower. So let's break this project down. Before closing, you saw that with the fee that we were going to be getting on top of all of our other services, $1,250. Then after closing, in order for the contractor to be paid, you have to go out and do a phased construction draw. Now, you can charge any fee you want for your draws up to $350. So now many of you are not familiar with a phased construction draw. And what basically is when the borrower goes to closing, the $35,000 for the renovation is added to the escrow account. In that escrow account, the money is not dispersed to the contractor until he completes work and you inspect it. When you inspect that work, then the contractor is allowed to draw down out of that escrow account the funds for the repairs he's completed based upon your inspection. So you will do, for a $35,000 project, typically you'll do about 3 draws. Now in this example, because I don't want to put up numbers that will make you think this is totally unreasonable, but truly, you can go to the HUD guidelines and you can charge any fee you like for your draw fees as long as they do not exceed $350 per draw plus mileage. Yes, you get to charge mileage. And in fact, mileage rates just went back up from 2018 back up to 57 cents a mile. So here's the cool part. You're getting a lot more mileage this year than last year, because last year the mileage rate was only 54 cents a mile. So let's take it here. $250 for the draw, plus $11.40 at 20 cents a mile, at 20 miles at 57 cents, means I'm going to be earning $261.40 per phase construction draw. On top of that, anytime you have a change order, in other words, the contractor is requesting additional money for things that are unforeseen problems that have arisen, and this money is in a separate holding account called the contingency reserve, so there's no problem about it, then you get to charge an additional $100 fee for that change order processing activity. So let's say a 3-draw project has 2 change orders for a total of $984.20. So before closing, you earn $1,250. After earning, you earn $984. So for that one project, you're earning $2,234.20. So $2,234.20. Let's just take the 11 hours that we saw before. Not that it's going to take you that long, but let's assume it still takes you a total of 11 hours. You're now making $203 per hour on this project. So now many of you suggest, well, when you do a draw inspection, that takes time. How many of you have ever done a draw inspection? Type in how long you think the typical time it takes to do a draw inspection. Yes, I'm seeing people type it in right now. It takes 15 to 30 minutes, usually an hour if it's a final draw inspection. So if it takes you 30 minutes to get to the property, 30 minutes at the property, and 30 minutes to get to the next draw inspection or next job or back to your office, you're talking an hour and a half, and you're earning $261. No liability, no difficulty. So let's raise that question about liability. That's right. With 203K Consultant, the liability is almost gone. Mostly because as a 203K Consultant, your project scope of work and the requirement that these are the things that meet minimum property standard is reviewed and approved by the FHA appraiser prior to going to closing. He basically is stating that he agrees that these are the items that must be completed in order to meet FHA minimum property standards. There's almost no competition. That's why you're here today, because I have let you know that we need consultants in most areas of the United States, and we need consultants even in areas where the roster shows that there are a lot. Why? Because HUD doesn't scrub that list. There are people on the HUD roster who are no longer doing them, don't even answer their phone, the numbers have been disconnected, or worse yet, the person's actually dead. We actually helped a customer whose consultant died, and they found us on the web and asked us if one of our consultants could come in and finish the project because they had nowhere to turn. And I'm very grateful to say that we did have a consultant in the area to be able to serve that need. The growing need from lenders is increasing because more and more lenders are turning to this service to be able to help people qualify for loans, especially with the advent of the Fannie Mae Homestyle loan and the new VA rehab loan are resources that don't involve FHA mortgage. So this is actually a great resource that's actually morphed into a conventional product that's very, very popular and needs your service. I've shown you the higher fees, and this is a fantastic way to get on a real estate agency's list, not as a home inspector, but as a 203K consultant. So there are articles all over the internet about FHA loans and why this is a great resource for people who want to buy properties. So and if you Google 203K loans in Indianapolis, Indiana, you will find that there are articles and resources available where people are talking about this actively and all over the internet. So how do you fit this into your business? What would you do? How do you work this into the things that you're doing now? Well, first of all, let's give you a brief overview of what FHA mortgages are. You see, there is a 203B, which is the typical standard FHA insured loan. This is the loan that you most likely have heard about. And this is a rehab loan. This is a non-rehab loan. This is the standard FHA mortgage where the borrower is qualifying for the loan The house has to be appraised. Once the appraisal is completed, anything that fails to meet that appraisal must be completed by the seller prior to closing. That's the standard FHA loan. Then there is the 203H. Now, you might have heard me talk about this or mention this on Facebook with all of the difficulties with the hurricanes in the South and in Puerto Rico and Florida. The disaster relief loan is a loan that allows up to 100% financing, but the house must meet minimum property standards. And guess what? You are going to be the expert on minimum property standards. The 203K renovation loan, my favorite thing. This is the loan that allows a borrower to add any of the items that were found to be unsatisfactory by the appraiser into the purchase price, and not just what the appraiser found is unsatisfactory. With the 203K loan, a borrower can add any desired or recommended improvement as long as they don't exceed the maximum after repaired value for the neighborhood or their personal ability to qualify for the mortgage. Easy, and it really is. And then there's the energy efficient mortgage. The energy efficient mortgage is a loan that can actually be stacked on top of any of these other loans that provides a borrower money that they don't have to qualify for or have an appraisal for, that covers extra costs in order to create the home in a more energy efficient capacity. We're talking solar power, geothermal, all the way down to caulking and adding a higher efficiency weather stripping around the door and everything in between. And every single one of these types of opportunities for you as an FHA consultant to interact with the home buying, home owning community, we teach you and help you market effectively and quickly. Now, I mentioned briefly a minute ago about our conventional partner, the Fannie Mae Homestyle. Here is just a brief screenshot when I Googled Homestyle renovation loans of all the different ways that people are talking about FHA renovation mortgages. And there you can see in the corner, this is the HUD consulting fees that don't apply to renovation loans. But here's all of the different things that people are talking about with regard to homestyle mortgages. And every homestyle loan requires the service, you got it, of a renovation consultant. How else can you leverage your skills as a 203K consultant? With real estate office education training, home buyer workshops, adding it to your inspection service, and using the 203K and EEM to be able to help people buy homes and have them energy efficient, safe, sound, and comfortable. Not to mention more valuable in that these homes usually will have a higher after repaired value once you've completed the renovation. Now, I was very shocked, and not so much shocked, so I get it all the time, but I was I am not surprised, because by the fact that every time I do an education training or a conference at home for home inspectors, I always get this question, who's doing this in my area? Okay, that's not the question you want to ask. The question is not who is doing it or who is using it. The question is there work that I could be doing if I were an FHA consultant? Or better yet, when I am an FHA consultant? So let me ask you a question. How many of you, and type in I am or yes, or just raise your hand, are getting asked the question if you can do an FHA inspection? Are you getting phone calls where people are saying to you, can you do an FHA inspection? Type in what your answer is to that question. If you are not an FHA consultant, the only answer you can give is no. Because when someone is asking if you can do an FHA inspection, they are truly asking if you can do a 203K renovation evaluation and consultation report. That's what they're looking for. So now, a lot of you have bought, so let's just get rid of that myth right there, because there is a great deal of opportunity. And some people have said to me, yes, people were asking me if I could do it, and I had to say no. This is what I'm hearing when I'm talking to inspectors just like you at conferences like the one just completed. So if you're not answering no, if you want to answer yes, you need to keep listening to what you can do to get to that place. Now, another question that I've been getting a lot of at conferences and conventions is, isn't FHA loans for low income? Absolutely not. In fact, you can see that this actually, in 2018, the FHA loan limits went up, and this was an article from 2017 that says that the FHA increases the loan limits in nearly every area of the United States. Well, the loan limits did increase to this number here. Okay, so this was what happened in 2018. The loan limits went up, okay, they went up an additional $9,600, up from $625, and the loan limit for a single family residence was $385,000, up to $740,000 for most areas. High limit areas, they start at much higher. That was the loan limit that took effect in 2018. Well, guess what? This is the article from December 2018. The loan limits for 2019 have gone up again. So are you seeing what I'm saying here? Right there, you can see loan limit went up in 2017, 2018, and now 2019. The single family loan limit the maximum loan limit for a single family residence is actually now $314,000, with high cost areas being $726,000. So so don't think this is for low income. These limits are rising every year because HUD sees the need to be able to be competitive with the conventional housing market. So congratulations. Every day, every year, we do 203Ks, the opportunities increase for us to do them. So we talked about some of the ways you can take advantage of this new ability as a renovation consultant, and here are more ways that you can do them. You can work with investors who are preparing the homes to be flipped, and you can provide bidding services to contractors. So now I want to give you an understanding. I've talked to you about what the income potential is, why it's a great opportunity, why more and more lenders are using it because the limits are going up, and all the different ways that you can be able to market yourself and benefit from being a renovation consultant. So now, let me tell you a little bit about what is the path for a renovation project. And the best way I can see to do that is with a flow chart. I love flow charts. So here you can see that as an FHA consultant, you would create a feasibility report and a contractor bid. Now this bid form here, as you can see, if the repairs are less than $32,000, then the borrower is able to utilize a loan called this 203K Limited. The Limited 203K. It used to be called the FHA Streamline. Now it's called the Limited 203K loan, and it's for repairs up to $35,000. Now you're saying to yourself, she's got a typo. This says 32K. No, I don't. The reason why I say it must be less than $32,000 is because in order to get any kind of a renovation loan with FHA insurance, there's a mandatory minimum 10% contingency reserve. I mentioned that earlier, where if there's an unforeseen problem, they dip into the contingency. Well, that 10% contingency is added to every repair amount. So if the repairs are $32,000 or above, that 10% would kick it out of $35,000 limit. So that's why you need to have repairs under $32,000 in order to be eligible for the limited 203K. However, if the repairs are not less than $32,000, if they're greater than $32,000, or they are structural in nature, I mean, one thing of structural required repair will automatically kick a project, no matter what the repair amount is, out of the limited capacity and require it and force it to be a consultant managed project. So one joist that's completely eaten through by termites that has to be sistered automatically qualifies that project to be a full 203K. In which case, the contractor must complete the bid, and then you complete the work write-up based upon his bid. So once again, let's do a little myth busting. People say, I don't know how to estimate, and I don't like 203K because I'm required to do cost estimating. Your feasibility report does include a preliminary cost estimate only to determine if the project is feasible to move forward. After it's determined that the project is feasible to move forward, then the contractor's numbers are what is used to complete the project and move to closing. And then you are doing the work write-up based not on your preliminary numbers from up here, but on the contractor's numbers that were completed here. And based upon your work write-up, the appraiser's review of it, the underwriter's acceptance of it, the borrower goes to close of escrow, and then you begin to do the draw inspections. So now, I like to be able to visualize for you how this works, because this is such a rewarding industry. There is so much value that you give when you rebuild neighborhoods one home at a time. So let me show you a sneak peek of how this can happen. Well, here's an example of a project. This is actually the home right when I showed up for the first draw inspection. And as you can see, when I arrived at the property, the windows were boarded up. Many of the windows were out of the home, missing out of the home. And you can see the contractor's up in the attic doing some repairs. This is how we met the property. Look at all the trees encroaching and filling up the whole neighborhood, whole house, all around this big house. Well, this actually, let's show you what it looks like when it was finished. That's what the home looked like once we were done. Notice the absence of trees, and the fencing is now put in place. And in fact, the house that's over here in this corner hired both the contractor and me as a consultant, with the help of the lender, who I referred to them, to do a renovation of their home as a refinance. So you see, this home is rebuilding neighborhoods right there and adding new value to the neighboring homes in the community, right? Absolutely. So now what else can be done? I showed you this is a purchase project, which is a major renovation. This was over $200,000, and it was a major renovation project. Well, what if they don't need all this type of major structural and system repair? Here's an example of a Fannie Mae project. Client owned the home for about 18 months to 2 years, about 18 months to 2 years. There was behind this, on the other side of this door, was a little powder room, and back in the yard was a pool. Well, the client didn't like the kitchen. This was a beautiful home. I think the kitchen's lovely. I'd have no problem with it. But the client didn't like the kitchen and wanted a better kitchen. They also wanted to turn this area over here into a 3/4 bath, because they wanted to be able to have people who were coming in from the pool not have to go all the way upstairs to their second floor of their home. So this Fannie Mae renovation loan was purely for the cosmetic purpose of turning it into this kitchen. And so here you see a beautiful kitchen now, and there you can see the backyard with the fencing around the pool. A far cry from that first house, isn't it? But it wasn't mandatory. It was purely a desired improvement. But that's what you can do with a renovation loan with a Fannie Mae home style. We can also save people from disastrous situations. This is a client whose property was damaged by Hurricane Katrina in New Jersey. She had a contractor who came in and started doing some rebuilding work in the home and then left her without finishing the project. She needed to get this home fixed. In fact, she had someone who were literally sleeping on this little cot up here in this unconditioned area. It was a very sad situation, and my heart went out to her. But more than just feeling sorry for her or feeling compassionate, I was able to help her by having, again, a 203K refinance that allowed her to take that property and turn that area into this. So behind this door here is a bathroom. Behind that door is a bedroom. And here we have our air conditioning and cooling and heating. Everything is exactly the way it needed to be. And it was all done without a dollar coming out of her pocket, and gave her the additional appraised value that she deserved and didn't need to be suffering from the hurricane. So I've showed you a lot of projects where we've done complete do-overs. Well, you don't actually always have to do a do-over. Here's a situation where the client was buying a property. There you can see the sump pump pit right here at the back wall, where you can see where it's being discharged outside, and see the plug in the wall. Well, that would have been great if this wasn't a foreclosed property and the utilities had been turned off. So the water had been allowed to fill the basement, and mold started to grow everywhere. Now, the client really wanted to refinish this entire basement. This is a home in Pennsylvania. We have basements, livable, walkable, functional basements. The client wanted to have a finished basement. But the problem was that they couldn't afford to do all the work they needed to in the other parts of the house, as well as put up all new drywall, all new flooring, etc. So what did we do? We just made the home safe, sound, and stable by providing all new walls, new furring strips, new ductwork, a new floor. You can see that at this phase of the draw inspection, the contractor had not finished grouting the floor. But as you can see, this home is perfectly ready for them to, at a future point, complete the renovation and add the additional elements. So yes, you can see that we have an outlet that's not connected to any wiring. That's just sitting there on the junction box for them in the future when they decide to put in outlets and add the wiring. So This actually is what you can do. You don't have to take it all the way to the nth degree. You can just finish it to the point that it's safe and structurally sound and not hazardous to the occupants. So 203K consulting is absolutely so very easy and absolutely fail-proof. We have a proven system that gives you all the resources that you need so that you can be able to be successful even if you've been doing 203Ks in the past and not been successful. See what I mean here? Oops. Oops.
Hi, I'm Brad Johnson, Absolute Inspection Service, and I've been a home inspector for 14 years and a 203K consultant for 4 years. And I just want to tell you, last year I met Catherine, and after that presentation, it put everything together for me to be able to use the software, and her direction has put my company on a direction where I can do as many 203Ks as I really want to do. Thank you.
So as you can see, we're able to take people who've been even not as successful as a 203K consultant and take them to the next level. So this is actually the numbers. Everyone wants to know, what are the numbers? So now these are the numbers of what I did last year as just doing a part-time renovation consulting, with just doing 12 initial feasibility studies, 4 streamlines a month. This is my monthly income, 1 seller pre-listing inspection on average, 8 work write-ups where I don't even have to go back out to the property. They give me a credit card over the phone or by email to finish the work write-up, and 20 draw inspections that I built up over the projects as they signed up and started working. So if you add that all up, on average, my income was about $13,000 a month. And this actually exceeded the projections that I had. I have since sold my home inspection company. However, I kept my 203K activities. Why shouldn't I? This is a great part-time income, or even more so than part-time. And so now I actually have 203K consultants that I'm training here in my local area, of which hopefully you can become one, to be able to work for me directly here in my local area of Pennsylvania as I travel the country to help those of you who are from other parts of the country besides Pennsylvania. When you come to our event, we're holding a 203K Discovery Day training event. We're going to talk to you about the Genesis 203K Success System. With this system, you get done-for-you resources that get you on the certification roster fast. We give you business referral leads from lenders who are standing around literally waiting for you to become certified in your area to be able to provide this resource for their borrowers and their home buyers. And you get personalized coaching from me. With the 203K Discovery Day Home Study Course, you'll be able to have all the information, the Elite Consultant Package, and the Diamond Level Coaching, plus the Genesis Rehab Reporting System. All of these are things that take you to the next level, but especially the Genesis system. Genesis is an incredibly easy system, and I designed it to be able to be used by new people who are not familiar with rehab loans. So we've made this system a task-driven program that doesn't let you go to the next step in the process until you've completed all the easy-to-follow tasks detailed here. It's a web-based program that actually can be created anywhere, even on your tablet or cell phone. We give you the ability to track all your projects so you can see at what stage each of your projects are in real time. And this is important when you're managing 20 or 30 active projects, which we will get you to very quickly. In addition, unlike any other system on the market, our software allows you to import and manage contractors. We actually allow you to have the contractor enter his bids for the projects electronically. No more pencils, no more faxes that misses pages, no more badly added or missed line items, none of that. They can do it right from their phone and be able to, and you can track every step of the way as they create their bids. Additionally, as I said before, you can log in on your Genesis system right from your mobile phone. And this is especially helpful when you want to refer to the project when you're in the field. So I've shown you so much of the value of renovation consulting. I think I've proven to you the income potential, the business opportunity, the actual opportunity to rebuild neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer that if the neighborhoods in our cities become stronger with better homes that bring back our youth to those communities that they probably may have even grown up in, but left due to the change in the climate. When the houses are better, neighborhoods are stronger, crime drops, businesses come back, and the overall health of the entire city is improved. Now, I know that may sound like, I don't know, pie in the sky thinking. And really, it is my dream that we will have consultants so popular and in so many markets in the country that there is not a single home buyer or homeowner who is not aware of the opportunity that this program can offer them. We don't want any potential home buyer or existing homeowner to not know that, wow, I wish I could have done this with a rehab loan. That's your opportunity, and that's our privilege to help you be able to be that standard bearer for renovation loans. And so I hope you will join us. And what's the best way to get started? How do you go from where you are now to being a successful 203K consultant like Brad and like so many others? Well, you do that by joining us at an upcoming 203K Discovery Days. This is a very fast-paced, enjoyable 2-day training where we actually will get you certified before, many cases, even before you arrive at the conference. If you sign up today, we will send you the done-for-you resources, do-it-yourself resources rather, that will actually allow you to submit your application package to HUD to be able to get on the roster. Now, there is one caveat that I need to share with you. And I should have mentioned it earlier on. I just got so excited, I forgot. In order to be a certified FHA consultant, you must have 3 years experience. That's 3 in the residential building trades. As a home inspector, a general contractor, an appraiser, an engineer, an architect, one of those areas you must show 3 years of documented, referenceable experience that you can supply to HUD. The other resources, the other requirements in order to become certified, we provide you and we assist you. But that's one thing that you must bring to the table. You must have that 3 years. If you're saying that you've been a home inspector for 3 years and you are in a licensed state, you will have to provide a license for 3 years. Okay? So this is something that you need to be mindful of. So I hope I didn't make anyone feel disappointed after I built you up to think you can come because you don't have the prerequisites. And if you're not sure if your experience meets the prerequisites, please contact us and let us know, and we'll try to help you determine what those abilities are. Just simply go to our NAFHAC webpage, that's www.nafhac.org, hit the contact us button, and then send us an email, and someone will call you to discuss your unique personal situation. Okay? So let's get back to talking about the 203K Discovery Days. Now, this actually is an extremely enjoyable, fast-paced training that I and many other exceptional trainers will be able to share with you. Here are some of the classes that we recently held of members who are now, many of them, renovation consultants, happy and excited about the opportunity to be able to do 203K consulting work in their markets. So, what's next? We want you to join us. Register now for the 203K Discovery Days. Then I want you to call a mortgage lender and say to them, guess what? I'm going to be adding 203K consulting to my business so we can do more projects together. Would that work for you? Ask them if this is something that would be interesting for them. Would this be something that we can be doing more work together if I were a certified consultant? Because I am about to add this to my business model. And you will find that they're going to be so excited and so eager to work with you when you get certified that you're going to have that motivation to get on the roster as fast as possible. And the 203K Discovery Days is the path to get you there. So now this is my special irresistible offer. We have two 203K Discovery Days coming up, one in May and one in October. And we want to fill up the May class first before we start marketing and advertising and actually registering for the October class. But if you want the October class, you can actually let us know, and we'll be sending you an email following this webinar with the links to both trainings. But we want to get you signed up for the classes either now or in October, because the October class is going to be in California. Our class that we're holding, our next class is in May 3rd and 4th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Now, the regular price for the 203K Discovery Days is $297. But we are giving you a special discounted price of $197, taking $100 off right off the top for you, so you can give you that extra incentive, and all meals are included. So we hope that you will come and join us at the 203K Discovery Days. Be there to be able to benefit and learn from everything that's taking place in the world of 203K consulting. It's a small investment, and if you are a member of InterNACHI and ASHI, this course is eligible for continuing education credits, another added bonus. So take a minute, and I just want to let you just whet your appetite just a little bit to show you just how much fun we have at a 203K Discovery Days.
Came here to the NAFHAC 203K days to learn how to better help my clients.
Catherine's seminar has been a wealth of information. She has more energy than my 3-year-old toddler. I don't know how she does it.
Any of the training I've gone through to make my business better, this has been the best value and the most engaging.
Learned a lot in this, well worth the money, the trip.
We've only been here for a day and a half, and I feel like they've got a week worth of training out already.
You could sum up this weekend in one word, what would it be?
Wow. Informative.
Informative. I've learned a lot, and I've signed up for the package.
It's been very enlightening.
One word? Transformational.
Transformational.
You guys still
We hope you'll join us at the 203K Discovery Days in May in Fort Lauderdale or October in Irvine, California. Enter Success 2019 in the promo code when you register for a special discount. I hope to see you there soon. Thank you. So the choice is yours. Some say opportunity knocks only once. That is not true. Opportunity knocks all the time, but you have to be ready for it. If the chance comes, you must have the equipment to take advantage of it. So don't let this opportunity pass you by. Sign up now at www.203kdiscoverydays.com. You could be certified within 2 short months. We want you to be the leader in your market and enjoy a profitable 2019. So please hurry up. Our seating for our May class is very limited, and we want to be able to get you on the path to success as an FHA consultant as soon as possible. So as I like to say, until I'm able to support you in the future, be outstanding. I hope to see you at upcoming 203K Discovery Days. Thank you and have a great day.